Hello everyone, welcome to round number 8 of the 44th Chess Olympiad in Chennai. And one of the highlights of this round is Uzbekistan, the Young Uzbekistan's team winning over Germany. And here, Yakuboev, one of Uzbekistan's young GMs, beating Blue Boom of Germany. Let's check it out. Started with e4, Yakuboev was white. e5. I remember I played Yakuboev about 3 months ago. 4 months ago in the Sharjah International Rapid. And we were on board one actually in the last round, and it was a draw. And he went on to win the tournament. I tied for second place at the time. Also a strong kid. Okay, knight f3, knight f6. You have the Petrov. Knight x e5, d6, knight f3, knight x e4, d4, d5, bishop d3, bishop d6, symmetrical, castles, castles, c4, c6, of course. Black has to protect d5, the d5 pawn protects d4 knight. Rook e1, bishop f5, Nepomniachtchi employs the Petrov, he played the Petrov in the current candidates. All his black games against e4 for Petrov. Okay, queen b3, queen to d7, c5, bishop c7. Of course, it's a trick. You cannot take this one. The bishop takes h2. And takes on b7. Knight c3. Here, black played rook e8. An interesting line would be knight takes c5 here. White will go bishop takes f5, knight takes b3, takes d7, knight takes a1, bishop f5. Controlling c2, but black could continue with knight a6. Threatens knight b4, bishop d2. You're attacking the knight on a1, back is g6. Has to go back to d3, knight to b4, bishop f1. Knight goes to c2, it's a long line, and then rook c1. And white should be better with the two minor pieces forward for the rook here. Knight e3, rook e8, bishop e3, normal development for white. h6, rook c1, queen c8, knight h4. Removing the defender of e4, and at the same time clearing the way for f3. Yeah, that is an annoying knight on e4. At the same time, also, white wants to exploit black's underdevelopment, especially with the knight in b8 and the rook on a8. Bishop h7, f3, takes. All right, knight d7, takes. Knight f5, queen d8, bishop f2, queen f6. g4, all right. Black is still fine until this move g6. This was the decisive mistake of the game. Okay, black has to clear that square, at least for the queen. A better move here would have been bishop f4, okay, attacking the bishop on c1. If the rook moves to d1, then h5, you can move the knight to f8, knight e6. Now, if white attacks on h4, you can make use of the g6 square for the queen. White has to play h3 and the move. Knight f8. Yeah. Knight e6. Knight e7 doesn't matter here. You can use queen h6. Although, if white wants to draw, he could go back to f5. But at least you're not worse. Black is not worse. But maybe g6 is almost game over. White had bishop h4. No square for the queen. You cannot go g5. The knight remains on f5, strong outpost, yes, and I can just go back to g3 here. And you cannot even take on g3 because it opens up the line for the rook here on the h5, yeah? Particularly that attack on h6, with the knight also helping out. Queen h8, knight d6. Now we have A pass pawn, 2 more steps. G5, bishop G3. Of course, you keep an eye on your pawn, protect your pass pawn. Queen F6 back, King G2. Knight B6, B3, not allowing knight C4, of course, protecting C4. Okay, the pawn in B3 protects the important C4 square. A5, rook C2, controlling the E file with rook E2 coming up. 97, rook E2. Rook E6, queen D3. Although it was also possible to just take on E6, takes on E6. And you can even go for rook H1 here and H4. Queen D3. King G7 takes, F takes, Queen E3. Backward pawn. Rook E8, F4. Nice move. Takes. Queen G6, H3. H5, bishop E5. And now G5. Knight is so bad in D7 thanks to that pawn in D6. That pawn in D6 is a thorn on black's position. King G8, bishop G3 back, and then H4. All right, fixing that pawn. King G8, Queen E2. Queen becomes passive because of the protection on H5. King G7, King H2, King G8, Queen D2. A5 is a threat. Black had to play rook A8 because if you go B6, you just go Queen E2 and simply play rook C1. That will be a threat also. Yes, because if you play C5, it opens up that square for the queen on B5. So rook A8, rook E3, B4, Queen E2. It's the rook in front, queen behind, King E6. Bishop E5, and now bishop F6. Black had to play Queen F7 because he could take on F6, just G takes. You take, this queen takes H5, bye-bye. Rook G3, soon to be mate. There's also a threat on E8. Black had to play Queen F7, bishop E7, interposing. Hook on that bishop. Threatens E6. Queen F4, no problem. King H3, safe. Queen G4, protecting the G4 square. King goes back to G8. Rook takes pawn. Rook F6. One final trick. Queen H1, no problem. Queen F3. And black resigned because if you continue with knight H7, rook G6, bishop F6, takes, and mate. And with that, Uzbekistan is tied with India 2 for second place. Again, Armenia continues to lead with half a point for match point here. Armenia with, okay, after 8 rounds, Armenia, I think, has 15 points here. While Uzbekistan and India with 14. But game points, the two young teams are leading with 25.5. So in case of tiebreak, these two teams are in the lead. Yeah. So all they need to do is control the last 3 rounds. Maintain their composure. It's still anybody's game. The first 3 now, we have Armenia, Uzbekistan, and India 2. And India 2 and Uzbek are both young teams. This Olympiad has shown the emergence of the young phenoms. You have the Noderbeks, the Yakubovs, the Jahongir of Uzbeks. And for India, you have Gukesh, phenomenal Gukesh with 8 out of 8. You have Nihal, you have Pragnananda, you have Sidwan. It's totally unexpected, but they're there. And any of this young team could win. Especially US losing to the young Indian team today. So that's the story of round number 8. USA losing to India 2, and Uzbekistan in striking distance. Thank you guys for supporting our channel, Charles Smash Chess and Charles Smash Entertainment on Facebook and YouTube. This is Coach Oliver. Stay safe, everyone.